Live, and we are indeed live. Welcome everybody. I hope you're well. My name's Dan Latto and welcome to the Property Cashflow show. So if you've got any questions, then just please stick them in the box below. If you're listening to the podcast replay, then welcome. You can always join us live in the Mastermind Group. We're also on Facebook in the Mastermind Group, but we're also on YouTube and Twitter as well. But if you're watching right now, then please give me your name. Let me know who you are, where you're from. That's always nice. But in today's session, I want to talk to you about other people's opinions, because we live in this world and other people's opinions count even more in 2019 going into 2020 than we did in 2004. I was watching a video this morning about something called Malice in the Palace. And at the Palace in Detroit, there was a basketball game against the Detroit Pistons and somebody else, whoever Reggie Miller used to play for. Anyway, an NBA basketball player went into the crowd, and this was Malice in the Palace, and he's punching this fan, and then people throwing the drinks at them and so on. And then something happened just a few weeks ago, which was in American football, where a guy ripped his helmet off and is hitting this other guy with his helmet. And obviously, you know, the difference between the two was that in 2004 we didn't have social media and opinions were less, and you couldn't control the narrative, whereas in 2019 you've got Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Now you can put your side of the story up, and you can get some kind of control over the narrative. So whilst on one hand that's very good, that's also very negative on the other hand. And it's negative because everybody else can also control the narrative. I'll give you another example. The guy that owns or used to own McAfee virus, antivirus, John McAfee, he's a little bit out there and a little bit crazy and so on. And he was saying that Epstein, for example, he doesn't believe was killed. Didn't say that he was murdered. He didn't believe he committed suicide. And so then all the press have taken this and have ran with this concept of McAfee saying he was murdered, and that's not what McAfee's saying at all. And it's really interesting how you get all these people from all over the place, people you don't know who you are, you've never met, and they've got an opinion about you and your life. And so you might put something out there and you put something like, well, actually property's really good, you know, it allows me to be financially free. And then someone random who you've never ever heard of, they come out and you go, oh, you mean all children under 5 should be murdered? And then you go, no, that's not what I said at all. Oh, that's what you're saying. And it's like, it's so crazy how opposite people say, opposite to what you actually said. It's just crazy. They come out with all this stuff and you go, well, I never said any of that. And they make it up in their own head, this narrative. So one of the best places to spot this, and this is really important, is if you go onto like newspaper blogs and you put a comment, then you get all these different people coming at you. And I actually quite enjoy it. Now, a little bit weird, and I get that, but I actually quite enjoy that anyway, because I enjoy understanding what pushes people's buttons and why are people, you know, where they are. So, like, put it this way, if you begin at the age of 20, and from the age of 20 to the age of 40, you put away £200 every single month for 20 years. Like, I don't know what that is, but it's basically £1 million. You do the maths. I don't know what exactly that number is, but it's a lot of money, you know. And if you did it from the age of 20 to 60, you'd have over £1 million, and you could retire and you'd never have to work ever again, right? Like, getting rich is really that simple. And Warren Buffett says it the best, and people go, well, why do people not do that? Because it's not exciting enough. People don't want to get rich slow. People want to get rich fast. And so when we talk about property and you're on newspaper forums and all these people are having a go at you because you're a landlord, and you go, well, actually, I quite enjoy helping tenants out and giving them nice places to live. And then they come back at you and go, oh, so you're a bit of a bastard, are you? And you hate tenants and you wish them all to die. And you go, that's not what I said. And so this happens on a really regular basis. And so the crux that I'm trying to get to right here is that it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, it just is irrelevant. You could be the nicest guy or girl on the planet, and somebody will try and catch you out in one way, shape or form. I mean, on some of the property forums, they do it as well. And obviously right now in property, people bad-mouthing trainers and all of that kind of thing, going, well, I didn't get my results, I should get a refund. Dude, you went to university for 4 years and didn't get a degree, but university is not passing you that money back. That's up to you. The resources are there for you to implement, and you've got to go and implement them. Well, you know, I didn't save money between the ages of 20 and 40, and therefore, you know, I think that's really bad, and I want my money back from the government because they should be telling me. No, it's not the government's job to tell you. It's your job to tell you. It's your job to go down the path that you need to go down to get whatever the result is that you want. And sometimes that path is property. And in going down that path of property, let's say, you're going to find other people who are completely opposite to you, thinks we should live in a socialist world. I had it just this morning on a forum, on a newspaper thing about property, and they're going, well, it doesn't matter anyway because Corbyn is going to socialise, make it all socialist, all private property. So I'd get out now if you can. What are you talking about? So let me get this right. I've been in property 20 years. I'm 47. I've been in property for 20 years. And now suddenly I've got this muppet who's a tenant telling me what the fuck I should be doing in my business. Because what? This tenant knows better? Like, this is what I'm talking about. You've got to have thick skin to go, I tell you what, how about you bend over and I shove it up your ass? How about that? How about you like them apples? Because if you're not confident in your own ability to tell the next person to piss off, there are 100 of those people compared to one of you. There's not even 100. There's 1,000. There's 10,000 of those people that are adverse or opposite to you investing in property. They think it's wrong. And because the masses think it's wrong, the masses must be correct. No, the masses are actually incorrect. I know. Imagine that. Imagine waking up and realizing that 99% of the population have got it completely wrong. Now, this is a real head screwball, right? This is why I get so excited about this and so animated about it, is that most people have got this shit wrong. I played basketball, and I used to go to university in Huddersfield. It was a polytechnic in those days. And I left after 6 months because I wanted to get into business and so on. But every year I would go and I'd play for their best basketball team for the next 3 or 4 years. And I remember going for a tryout, and we're playing 5-on-5. There's this big guy, and I'm playing defense. Oh no, before we even get to playing defense, there's this big guy, and you think, oh, he might know what he's doing. So we get into a little huddle. These are tryouts to play for the team. We get into a little huddle, and the guy says to me, he says, right, us three, we're going to stay back, and you two go down on defense. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We all go down and we all come back. That's basketball. But it's not football where we have a defence and they stay in their own half, and then you've got centre forwards or whatever, left wing, right wing. That's not how that stuff works. This is basketball. We all go down, we all come back and defend. Oh, no, I've played this game before and I think you're wrong. What the hell are you talking about? You're completely and utterly wrong. So I said to her, I tell you what, you stay down there on defence, I'll go shoot the ball, which is exactly what I did. Scored loads of points. And then he gets really upset with me, of course. But he's getting upset with me because he doesn't understand the rules. The rules are wrong. And the rules that 99% of people follow, they are also wrong. You should be saving from the age of 20 to 60. 100%, without shadow of a doubt, that's what you should be doing. Putting all that money into ISAs and max that out, and then putting it into your pension and max that out up to £1 million, which is nothing, right? But that's what you should be doing. The rules of weight loss have changed. I know this because I'm living proof from fasting. Fasting works. And I watched Jamila Jamil again, sticking her face in where it's not required, as usual, talking about how fasting is evil and dangerous. I'm like, have you even done it? And I was reading an article about Jamila's hypocrisy. You know, she's a slim, attractive woman who uses her sexuality to get on TV and her good looks to get on TV, and yet she says nobody else should do that. It's like, you're a hypocrite. But the rules have changed. The rules are continually changing. And if you continue to stay down the path that everybody else is going on, the rules are going to help you stay where you are and leave you behind, while people like me are moving further forward. People like me who eat once a day and the weight still drops off, or certainly helps maintain and not add weight on. I mean, I've eaten so much junk in the last week, you wouldn't believe, and I'm still losing weight. What the hell is that about? It's because the rules of the game are different than just a year ago, okay? Because we've got this modern technology called fasting, which is not even a modern technology, for crying out loud. It's a technology that we've had for 100,000 years, because as humans, we didn't eat for 3 days until we killed the next woolly mammoth, and then we feasted for a couple of days, and then we didn't eat again for the next few days, and then we feasted. That's how we were born and brought up 100,000 years ago. So it's not even new technology. It's a rediscovery of old technology, but with an understanding of insulin being the reason why, and all this extra stuff. And yet people are still operating on an old and out-of-date mechanism called a diet. Well, just move more and eat less calories. It doesn't work. We know it doesn't work. There's scientific studies that prove it doesn't work. It lowers your metabolism. You go from eating 2,500 calories down to 1,700 calories, and your body's burning 1,600 calories. Well, you still got 100 calories up because your metabolism has corrected itself. It doesn't work. We know it doesn't work. Get off that old technology. Get yourself onto a new technology. Get off the old idea of going to work, getting a job, working till you're 65. I'll tell you how out of date that technology is. The pension retirement age is going to be 67. It's not even going to be 65 anymore. It's going to be 67. You're already out of date with that old technology of getting up and going to work. The old technology of getting into a car. I love the Tony Robbins. I don't like Tony Robbins anymore, but I like the Tony Robbins version of what he says. You live in a box, and then you get up and you get in a box and you drive to a box where you work, and you pay for a box to drive you to work, where you work in a box to pay for the box that you can't live in because you have to drive to work in a box to get you to the box where you work from. All of that is to pay for the box that you're driving and the box that you live in. It just doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't. It's because it's old technology. We don't do that. The box I live in right now, I'm actually in my front room right now. This is my lounge. I have my workstation here and the lounge is over there. Like, do you think we're getting maximum value out of our house? Absolutely. The only reason I got a car is to pick the little one up from school, quite honestly, and do a few errands here and there. Otherwise, what do we need cars for? We don't live in this old technology of you get up at 8 and you go to work, and you get to work at 9, and then you work till 5:30, then you get back in the thing, and then you go home. It's crazy. This is old technology. What the hell are we doing? A new technology is you put your money to work, the money makes more money, and that money makes more money, and that money makes more money. And so you get yourself into a position where all that money's making money so that you don't have to go out to work. That's what it should be. Then you put that lot into a trust, and then you want to task your children so they only get access to those funds if they do something, whatever that happens to be. It could be working as a nurse, or it could be going out and helping homeless and setting up a charity, whatever you want to do. Because, you know, I do believe people need to do something on their own 2 feet. But the old technologies that are taught by the schools still today, they're wrong, they're old, they're out of date, they're no longer relevant, and they're non-functional. And we wonder why people are depressed, because now we're telling them to go get a job that they absolutely don't want. Well, what do you want to do? I want to be an artist. But there's no money in being an artist. You've got to go and make your money elsewhere. Like, there's a bit of money. Depends who you are, how good you are. But it's not a huge amount, right? So most artists are starving artists, I'm guessing. But this then takes us back to when you're dealing with people who are external to you, as in they're not you, and they're giving you grief about investing in property. They're working off old technologies. They're not working off the latest, greatest idea. They're working off old technologies, the old paradigm. And my mum said, well, everybody has to work. Everybody needs a job. No, they don't. They absolutely do not need to work. What they need is a new paradigm of working, one that fits into your lifestyle and your goals, because the old paradigms are done. They are finished. Now, we've had Brexit for 3.5 years, and right now, depending when you're listening to this, we've got a general election going on, and everyone's, oh, what do you think about Corbyn versus Boris, or How did the head-to-head go last night? Who won that? Oh, I think they won it by a point. Or who gives a shit? What the hell are you doing looking at this stuff? The old paradigm, one of the oldest paradigms ever invented, is that the pyramid, the people at the top who don't give a shit about the people at the bottom, are in charge. And there's a really good bit in Douglas Adams, if you've ever read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and they've got the lizard people in charge. And you've got lizard people A and lizard people B. And he's explaining to Arthur Dent that it makes no difference who you vote for because you just get the same people in. And he says, well, why do people vote then? And I can't remember the whole story, but he says it's to give them an illusion of choice. But there's always some choice, Corbyn or Johnson. Who's going to be best? Who's going to help me? None of them. Corbyn, the socialist with his £1 million house, whatever, living in London with his multi-million pounds, or Johnson, who's quite happy to kill disabled people and people on low incomes by reducing their benefits. It's crazy, you know, getting people to work. But I was reading just yesterday about a guy who was told he was fit to work. He had a heart attack in the job centre, but he was struggling to get to. I was reading about somebody else who's got cerebral palsy, I think it was. It might not have been cerebral palsy. But because she could take a purse out of the handbag, she was fit to work. Forget about all the anxiety and all the letters from the doctor saying how inappropriate it is for this person to work. He doesn't care either. But none of them care. This is an old paradigm. And if you're still living in this old paradigm, well, you're screwed as well. He doesn't give a shit about you. Neither of them do. None of those parties care about you. None of them. They're all in it for themselves. And that's okay. I don't mind that. Good luck, Boris. Go for it. Go do whatever it is that you need to do. In the meantime, while you're doing that, I'm building up my little empire over here. And I'm not playing by the same rules that everybody else is playing by. And if you're going to keep on playing by the same rules that everybody else is played by, you're going to get exactly the same results that everybody else gets. Basically, you're going to get bent over and you're going to get screwed by the government. They will screw you. It's just, what are you putting up with it for? Now, it's not easy getting from zero to hero. I totally 100% appreciate that. It is really hard. Almost impossible, okay? And you go on training courses and pay lots of money and you do this and none of it works, okay? And the reason why none of it works is that your programming is out of date. The old paradigm that you've got psychologically, attitude-wise, is old school. It's done. It's given to you through school, which has told you to go out and get a job. And so you need to break the old mold here. And this is why most people don't get what they want, is because the paradigm that they're working off is this old school paradigm that they've been given by the people at the top in government to keep you exactly where you are. Because I'll tell you what, folks, the matrix is real. And it's not batteries and electricity that we create, it's tax funds for the government. You are you know, in the film Matrix, you are a tax battery. You're born, you get taxed from the day you're born, all the way up to the day you die, and after the day you die, and during when you're dying, and everywhere in between. You are a tax battery for the government. Stop playing those games. Learn how not to be a pawn for the government. Learn how not to be a tax battery for the government. And it involves you taking a paradigm shift. That will do us for today. A good ranty podcast there. Hope that was useful. And I hope you enjoyed that. Come and leave me what you think as well down below. I always think they're interesting. And I'd love to hear back from you. Other than that, we will speak on Friday. We're going to talk about mindset and hustle. We'll speak to you on Friday, folks. Have a good couple of days. Take care.